Hello, my name is Bob Lester from the Watertown Museum. Today we'll talk about shopping as it was, basically grocery shopping. Years ago, I'm talking probably 50, 60 years ago, there was no supermarkets. Our four big stores in Gunnedah, McDonald's, Stories, Hawkins Laws and the Cooperative, had grocery departments. People wanted to buy some goods, whether it be butter or flour or eggs or whatever, would go in there, order what they want, pay for it and take it home. Very few people, the normal people around the town, had motor vehicles. There was no public transport. So they used to, a lot of it, they used to have to carry things home. Now you've got to remember 50 or 60 years ago, Gunnedah was a far smaller place than what it is now. Just an example of how you do say a grocery shop. You go in, you'd have your list, you'd generally sit down at a chair that was available, read out the list. The grocer behind the counter would write out the docket, the invoice, and gather the goods and put them in a bag for you and take your money and away you go. A few of the shops also had what they called the order boy system. Now this was a wonderful thing, and I can remember my own mother used to take great advantage of this. The order boy would come around, in those days this was from McDonald's store. The order boy would come around on his bicycle. He was generally a 14, 15, 16-year-old fellow. Driver would come around to his customers, sit down, write the order out. After he got a few orders, he'd ride back to the shop, drop the orders in. The orders would be then collated, put in boxes. Sometime that afternoon, the Co-op or the McDonald's or Stories, whichever it was, they had a utility, and the boxes were put in there, and the products were then taken back to the person that
ordered
them. The box would be carted into generally put on the kitchen table, checked out against the list, and if it was £1, 2 and sixpence, if you can still relate to what that sort of money was, that be paid over to the delivery man, and you had your goods. Then in 1957 in Gunnedah, there was a bit of a revolution in grocery shopping. A fellow named Peter Venardis, who was a Greek gentleman. He was a partner with a fellow named Souris. They ran the Acropolis Cafe, which is now where the Vietnamese hot bread shop is. And Peter had an idea that he must have seen it somewhere, probably the city, and he actually set up the first supermarket as we know it here in Gunnedah. And it was a revolution in those days. People used to come in, carry their baskets around, wander around exactly as you do nowadays in the shops, in the supermarket, select what you want, take it back to the counter, pay for it, and away you went. Now that was basically the death knell of the old grocery shop. You had far more variety, you could see what was there, and you also had, as well as normal dry goods as we call them, you also had a wonderful delicatessen set up. A beautiful amount of cold meat, bacon, cheese, whatever you wanted. It was a really good thing, and this was the start of the supermarket as we know it. And then of course we had after Thriftway then came another shop which I can't remember the brand now. It went into I think the Lewis Farmers Cooperative store. They rented area there, and then of course after that came Coles, Woolworths, and now as we know it, Aldi's are in. So we've got three big supermarket chains competing in Gunnedah for the food and other goods dollar. Now we have a lot of this information at the Watertown Museum. I'd invite you to come here at any time. You can look through samples of the things we have. We open for business every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m, and we welcome you.